Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Yes Prep Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you all here this morning. We have 6 wonderful institutions here to share a little bit more about what each of them do. Each will have 6 minutes to present for you all today, but I do want to make sure you know that you can ask your questions throughout the entire session. So there's no need to save those questions until the end. Your camera and microphone are off, and they're going to remain off throughout the full session, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. That Q&A is your best way to interact with our college representatives this morning. You can send those questions through that Q&A button that you see in your Zoom toolbar. There are 2 more hours of programming after this session concludes, so if you haven't already signed up for more, feel free to check those out and do so. And note that this session is being recorded and that the recording will be available at strivescan.com/yesprep within the next few days if you do need to return to any of this information. And so with that, we'll go ahead and get started with our first presenter, which is Boston College. Hi, Cindy, you're talking on mute. I'm sorry. We also see your Chrome window, it would appear.
Can you see my PowerPoint?
No, we see your Chrome window with your virtual visits.
Got it. Okay, let me just try this again. Can you see my PowerPoint
There
now?
we go.
Okay,
Yep,
great. Thanks so much. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Cindy Cordova, and I am a Senior Assistant Director within the admissions team here at Boston College. My pronouns are she, her, and ella, and my contact information is on the screen because when you apply to Boston College, I'll be the person reviewing your application. So I am looking forward to answering your questions and to learning more about you through this process. So don't be shy. Please reach out if you have any questions. Just to give you a quick overview about Boston College, I know we're called BC, but we're actually not in Boston. We are around 6 miles west of downtown Boston. And this gives you the best of both worlds in that we have a traditional looking campus within a town called Newton, which is a very safe, beautiful town here around 6 miles west of the city, while also giving you access to some of the resources available within America's college town. The city of Boston welcomes students from all over the world who study here and live here and work here every year. And so just by being at BC, you'll be surrounded by around 60 colleges and universities within a 10-mile radius of our campus. And this basically means that the city caters to you as a college student for those jobs, those internships, and also for entertainment, for you to be able to go to concerts, sporting events, hang out at different restaurants and coffee shops. There's so much to do here, giving you the autonomy to be a college student while also having access to our traditional looking campus. We're also not teeny tiny, even though we do have college as part of our name. We're more of a mid-sized university with around 9,400 undergraduate students that come to BC to study here, and that is for all different academic years. As you can see here, here is our campus layout. We have a lot of green space, even the reservoir, one of the most beautiful reservoirs that I've seen in my life. And then back here, we have the skyline of the city of Boston, which again gives you the best of both worlds. We welcome students from all 50 states and around 78 different countries from around the world. We have a lot of students that come from Texas every year, so you're not going to be alone, but you're also going to meet other students who might be nothing like you. And that's part of the process of being a college student and learning from each other and just being able to have your horizons expanded through meeting people who are from different backgrounds. So that's certainly part of the process of being a student here at BC. One of the things that makes Boston College unique is that we are a Catholic Jesuit institution. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to identify as Catholic to apply or to be a student here. But certainly the values of a Jesuit education encourage you to think about the questions that you have here on the screen. What brings you joy? What are you good at? And what does the world need you to be? So during your time here, there's going to be a lot of mentorship to help guide you answer these questions, and hopefully have these questions also be reflected in your decision making as you're thinking about what it is that you want to study, who it is that you want to become, and what kind of impact you want to have in your community, in your life, and even in the world. So we're helping you reflect on this. Because of our Jesuit traditions, we also take care of you as a whole person. So it's not only about educating your brain, but also helping you connect to your heart and your soul. And there's so many resources to help guide you along the way here at BC. When you apply to Boston College, you're going to be asked to select one out of the one out of the 4 academic divisions that you see here. And so it is important for you to kind of know if you're leaning towards the College of Arts and Sciences, if you're leaning towards a business school, if you're leaning towards education, or if you're leaning towards nursing. Those are the 4 academic divisions that we offer here. There is a lot of room for students to study more than one thing and also to change their programs. However, I will say that if you're interested in business or nursing, please directly apply to those academic divisions, because it is difficult to switch into business or nursing down the road if you're not there from day one. We also encourage our students to get involved. We have around 300 student clubs and organizations here at BC that help you affirm your identity, the intersection of your identities, connect to entertainment, music, dance, a cappella groups on campus, theater, also intramural and club sports. We're also a Division I school for sports, so there's always something to do here on campus on the weekends as well. A couple of other resources that I wanted to highlight: we have tutoring services. We have an office called AHANA that focuses on supporting students who identify as African, African American, Hispanic, Asian American, and Native American. And so any of those resources available will help you affirm your identity here at BC. We also have a first generation center called Learning to Learn, a lot of different resources here to support our students along the way. When you apply to BC, the review is holistic. So we are reviewing your application and everything that comes along with it through that holistic lens. We do offer early decision 1, early decision 2, and regular decision. Obviously, early decision is binding, so make sure you're having those conversations with your counselors if you have any questions, or you can also always reach out to me. We do offer very generous financial aid scholarships, and we're also a Quest for School. So we're need blind, and we meet 100% of your family's demonstrated need for financial aid. So a lot of financial assistance. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me, cordovac@bc.edu. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to share a little bit more about Boston College. Up next, we have Colorado College.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Isabella. Let's see, I'll share my screen. All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time in your mornings to be here. My name is Cody Leong. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm an admission counselor at Colorado College. I'm also very happy to say that I'm from Houston myself. So it makes me very excited to be here today. But I'll be talking with y'all for just a little bit about the highlights, I think, of what really make Colorado College such a unique place to be and spend your 4-year college career. So like many of the other institutions here, I'm going to start by talking a little bit about the location and our sense of place, where we call home. So to introduce, Colorado College is a liberal arts college located in Colorado Springs, Colorado, in the heart of the Rocky Mountain West. We're pretty unique in our location, as we're one of the few liberal arts schools located in the Rocky Mountain West region and in the Mountain Time Zone. We're located in the city of Colorado Springs, which is a vibrant mid-sized city with about 700,000 people. That's home to about 700,000 people. What that means, it has everything that you need from a bigger city, whether that's restaurants, and things to do on weekends. And this is just an overview of our campus. And downtown Colorado Springs is actually located only about a 10 minutes walk from campus. In addition, if wanting to get outside is something that you're interested in, it has great access to the outdoors. You can see Pikes Peak, also known as America's Mountain, from campus. And the city has over 300 miles of hiking and biking trails within city limits, which gives you ample opportunity to take advantage of the over 300 days of sunshine that we enjoy per year in Colorado. Next, transitioning to talking a little bit about our campus and the community that calls it home. We have an easily walkable campus that's home to the majority of our 2,200 undergraduate students. By most metrics, this makes us a relatively small college. What that means is what I found is it really leads to a great community of students both inside and outside of the classroom. Speaking about that experience inside the classroom, one thing that we really value at Colorado College is our smaller class sizes. Our student to faculty ratio is 10 students for every one faculty member, and our average class size is 16 students. What this allows for is it allows you to really get to know not just your classmates very well, but also your professors as well, whether you, in case you'd like to do any research opportunities or anything like that during your time as a Colorado College student. But one thing I really did want to mention while I'm here for you all today is I wanted to talk a little about our academic plan, which is the block plan and perhaps our most unique quality. What the block plan is it's a different take on the semester system. Here we have both a fall and a spring semester here at Colorado College, but within that semester, things will look a lot different. Here at CC, you take one class at a time and you take that class as a block that lasts 3.5 weeks. During that 3.5 week time, you still complete the equivalent of a semester's worth of material, and you take 4 blocks per year. So you're still taking the same course load that you would at any other college or university. This has some advantages. What this really allows you to do is you're able to do a very deep dive on the subject, whatever the course may be. This could be an author's entire body of work, or maybe some very specific area of biology. You get to do all this without having to balance several courses at once. In addition, each block is its own independent unit, so that means there's no finals week at the end of the semester. You've already completed your courses of study for all of your courses by the time that 3.5 week block is done. You may wonder, why is it only 3.5 weeks? Why not just round it up to 4? The reason for that is after each and every 3.5 week block, class will end on 4th Wednesday at 12 p.m. After that, you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, and that's something called a block break, and it's entirely up to you what you'd like to spend that time doing. Transitioning to talking a little bit about the area of the playground that we call home. As I mentioned earlier, we're lucky enough to be located in the Rocky Mountain West, which really grants us to take ample opportunity to take learning beyond the classroom through a variety of field study and experiential education programs. One of the greatest strengths of the block plan is its flexibility. Because you're only enrolled in one class at once, you can get off campus for a day, a couple of days, a week, several weeks. You can do all of that without having to worry about missing other classes, because again, you're only enrolled in one class at any given time. Because of this, experiential learning and taking learning beyond the classroom is something that we think is especially valuable. One popular example is, say you're in a geology class. What better way to learn geology than taking a 5-day field trip throughout the American West to see and touch the rocks that you're learning about in person? The same flexibility extends to studying abroad as well on a block-to-block basis. Say you don't have the flexibility to study abroad for an entire year, that's totally fine. You can take 1 block abroad or 2 blocks abroad, then come back to campus, and it's like you were never off campus in the first place. Because the block plan is so flexible and we really make for ample opportunities and build this into the curriculum, we have 80% of students study abroad during their time at Colorado College, and every single student participates in some kind of field study during their time at Colorado College. I want to next finish out by speaking a little bit about the community. I actually don't believe I mentioned this early on, but I'm a pretty recent graduate of Colorado College, having graduated in 2020. And the thing that really stood out to me most was the close-knit community. Those 4.5-day block breaks, as I mentioned, that could be an opportunity to do anything you like with your friends. One thing that's very popular is going on student-led trips through our outdoor education program. And they've sent out over 130 trips regardless of the season. Or alternatively, block breaks are often times that are used by student organizations in order to get off campus and do other things. For example, community service, community outreach, or anything like that. Speaking briefly about our admissions and financial aid process, like many of the other institutions who are present here, we reviewed with a holistic process, which means there's no one thing that will make or break your application. And if there's any context that you think helps us learn about you, please provide it to us. We also meet 100% of demonstrated financial need, and we also request a partner school. Now, speaking about that, we also offer we have different admissions decisions. We have early decision 1 and early decision 2, which are binding. We also have early action as well, which really allows you to still show your interest without having to make that commitment early on. Thank you so much, and feel free to ask any questions you may have.
Thanks, Cody, for sharing a little bit more about Colorado College. Before I pass things off to our next institution, I do want to take a quick moment to make another plug for that Q&A. So if you have any questions about the institutions you've already heard from, or any about the ones you're about to hear from, don't forget that you do not need to hold those questions until the end of the session. You can send them at any point through that Q&A. But from here, we'll head on over to Davidson College.
Well, hello, everyone. I am Luis Toledo, Senior Admission Counselor at Davidson College, and it's a pleasure to be here with you all. I'm also a graduate from Davidson, so if there are any questions that you have about student life and how it works here at Davidson, feel free to go ahead and put them in the chat as well. We'll be answering them throughout the session. But I want to go ahead and get started talking a little bit about our community. We're located about 30 minutes north of Charlotte in North Carolina. And I think something that sets Davidson apart is the relationship that it has with its surrounding area. In fact, the college was founded first, and then the town started growing around it. But we understand here at Davidson that close relationships are not only given by time, but they need to be very intentional. So you will see neighbors at football games, basketball games. I think one of our greatest traditions is actually when our neighbors around the area bake cookies for our students during final season and bring them to the student union. Even though it's a small act, I think it really speaks to the community that we have here at Davidson. So on the students' end, they want to go above and beyond to make sure that what they learn in the classroom is something that they're contributing back to their communities. So sometimes you will see our students volunteering at a local preschool or teaching Spanish at a local elementary school. Now talking about Davidson's location in the broader context in the US, you might have heard of institutions being classified as rural, suburban, or urban. Davidson's specific location is commonly classified as suburban, but something that stands out is our easy access to both urban and rural areas. So about 30 minutes north of Charlotte, Charlotte is the second largest banking city in the United States, just after New York City, and the 14th largest overall. Our students tend to use it as a resource for professional development. And that can mean having internships, shadowing opportunities, and research. The opportunities to be connected with Charlotte and the world are endless for our students. And something that we are very proud of is the recognition that our students receive for their excellent work, both at the state and national stage. Employers in the Charlotte area know our students and actively seek them during their hiring processes. But now talking a little bit more about what happens inside the classroom. If you get to interact with our students, you will notice that Davidson encourages them to explore the breadth of the curriculum. We're about 2,000 students, all undergraduate in a liberal arts community, where they're really encouraged to explore the whole curriculum. And the way that that happens at Davidson is very intentional. So instead of having distribution requirements, we have what we call ways of knowing requirements, which are courses that our students can take in different areas. So rather than taking a specific English 1 or 2, you will be having the opportunity to explore different areas of English, perhaps apply to what you're interested in. For example, one of our courses for students who might be interested in pre-medicine is actually about writing within the sciences and writing in medicine. So all these requirements, you will have the ability to bring them back home, bring them to your field, and make sure that it's something that you are interested in. Davidson classrooms are designed to be spaces of self-discovery. This doesn't always mean that every single course will determine what you're going to do for the rest of your life, but they will help you garner the skills that you need to lead a life of leadership and service. Our students are asked to declare their major before the end of their sophomore year. So in that sense, you will have those first 2 years to really get to explore the curriculum. Again, Davidson is not a place where your major will tie you to what you're doing for the rest of your life. Rather, it's going to be an anchor, a lens through which you can make sense of academia and the rest of the world. Another great opportunity that we have here at Davidson is that you will have the opportunity to create your major. Let's say that after those 2 years, you get to explore different courses, and you don't necessarily have a department that you can call home. You will have the opportunity to create your major along with advisors in different departments. There are incredible opportunities for students to be involved in research as well. So whether it be by joining one of the projects that our faculty are working on, or perhaps getting to design your own research, Davidson students are paired with leading scholars in each of their fields. Our faculty are truly the rock stars of our campus. We are so excited about them because they are excited about our students. They want to be part of our students' professional journey and get to know them very well. Another big part of that is the size of our school. So our average class size is going to be about 15 students, and the student to faculty ratio is 9:1. You will really get to know your professors, and they will get to know your name within the first week of school and never forget it. The way that these different projects come about at Davidson is very organic. So students feel encouraged to reach out to their professors about any interesting topics that they find. And of course, our professors are leading scholars, but the world is vast and there's so much more to be learned. So students will have the ability to have funding for different projects that they might be interested in. Now, shifting gears a little bit and talking a little more about our student life, there are about 200 different student organizations. And the greatest advantage of having so many organizations for our community that is rather small is the opportunity that you have to tap into different things. There are opportunities for students to put practice everything that they have learned inside the classroom, if that's what they would like to do. But there's also a lot of opportunities for our students to just go ahead and have some fun. Also now talking about admission and financial aid. At Davidson, we have 2 rounds of early decision and 1 round of regular decision. We're also a QuestBridge partner school. And we're one of the few institutions in the country to be need blind, meet 100% of demonstrated financial need. And also we do so without loans. So every package that you get from us will not have loans as part of your financial aid package. Thank you all.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to share a little bit more about Davidson College. Really appreciate it. Up next, we have Hamilton College.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Here we go. Great. Well, my name is Lucy Jarina. I am one of the admission counselors here at Hamilton College. Hamilton is a small liberal arts college located in upstate New York by the village of Clinton. We're about an hour from Syracuse, and we have nearly 2,000 undergraduate students. We're an entirely undergraduate institution, and students here live on campus for all 4 years. We have a really tight-knit community of students here on campus. We call ourselves the Hamily, and Hamilton has also been called a freakishly friendly campus by a handful of college guidebooks. So definitely tight-knit community matters to us here at Hamilton. We like to start off with a brief note on Hamilton's motto, which is know thyself. This emphasizes that we seek students who are curious about learning more about themselves and who they want to become. College is a transformative process, and here at Hamilton, we're here to support all students in what is this lifelong journey of self-knowledge. And so with that, we have what's called the Hamilton Promise to support students in this process. The Hamilton Promise is trifold. We promise that all students can study what they love, be who they are, and find their future here at Hamilton. But starting off with the first part of the promise, study what you love, a big way that our students are able to explore their academic interests is because we have what's called an open curriculum. With the open curriculum, all of our students are free to choose from all of our course offerings across all of our areas of study and build a schedule, build a curriculum that is entirely unique to each of our students as an individual. We know that coming from high school, maybe you didn't have the opportunity to explore everything you might be interested in. So with this, our open curriculum is about studying what you love and also discovering what it is that you want to do in college. Students will eventually declare their major in the spring semester of their sophomore year, and there will be requirements for students to fulfill within that major. But a wonderful thing about the open curriculum is after you've discovered what you love, declared your major, there's still a ton of room for making those really important interdisciplinary connections. Students also aren't going into this process all alone. Every single student here has an amazing team of supportive advisors and peer mentors guiding them through this process. Every student will have a faculty advisor, a career guide, and what's called an Alex advisor, which is your one-stop shop for getting connected with support and opportunities here on our campus. But next, speaking briefly to the second part of the promise, be who you are. Like I said, we have nearly 2,000 students here at Hamilton. We're a small, tight-knit liberal arts community. About 30% of our students are students of color, 15% are first-generation college students, and about 6% of our students are international. And we want all of our students to express themselves, be who they are during their time here on campus. We have nearly 200 clubs and organizations, so 1 to 10 ratio there with students to clubs. Two of our most popular clubs are our Outdoors Club. As you can see, we are located in beautiful upstate New York. We're also about an hour from the Adirondack Mountains. Campus itself is actually classified as an arboretum because of the amount of green space we have access to. So our Outdoors Club is very, very active. Another very popular club that we have is our Community Service Club. In addition, we also have Division III athletics here at Hamilton, and we participate in the New England Small College Athletics Conference called the NESCAC, which is one of the most prestigious D3 conferences. A third of our students are varsity athletes, and another third of our students will get involved in athletics through club and intramural sports. Finally, we also have a robust history of unique, fun Hamilton traditions here on our campus. One of my personal favorites is Feb Fest, a winter carnival with a snowman building contest, but a ton of unique Hamilton events to kind of keep our community engaged year-round. Next, I can speak to the third part of the Hamilton Promise, Find Your Future. We ensure that every single student here, regardless of your major, regardless of your unique educational path with the open curriculum, we ensure that every student will have the toolkit that they need to thrive after graduation. Like I mentioned, every single student will have their own career advisor who will take them through a unique Hamilton-designed Find Your Future curriculum. With this, students are able to discover the professional skills and interests. And then that professional advisor is there for you all 4 years of your time here at Hamilton and post-graduation for help with applying for grad school, internships, amazing opportunities like that, careers, all of that good stuff. A brief statistic is that 99% of our graduating seniors this past year had at least one internship by graduation. 86% had at least 2. So definitely ample internship opportunities to be had. In addition, we also have some amazing Hamilton study away and study abroad programs, one of which is a internship-based program which we offer in Boston, New York City, and Washington, D.C. So tons of ways for students to get involved in internships, both on and off campus with the support of their Hamilton community. Finally, we practice holistic admissions here at Hamilton. We are a QuestBridge partner school, and we also accept the Coalition, QuestBridge, and Common Application. Hamilton is also one of just dozens of schools to be a combination of need blind and meet 100% of demonstrated need. So we are able to have very generous financial aid here as well. But thank you so much for listening. And I'll be free to answer any questions that you might have in the chat or the Q&A.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about Hamilton, and that transitions really well into my plug for the Q&A. And so if you do have any questions about the 4 institutions you've heard from or about the 2 you're about to hear from, don't forget that that Q&A is there for you to interact with our college representatives this morning. But from here, we'll hear from University of Southern California.
Great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ruben Hernandez, pronouns he, him, is. I am one of the admissions counselors here from the University of Southern California. I am the territory manager for the Houston region. So I do look forward to reading all of your applications in the near future. Who is the University of Southern California? Well, just at a quick glance, we are a large private research institution. We are one of the oldest colleges in California. Our total enrollment at USC is 48,500 students. So we are a large campus in a really large city. Campus is very densely packed. It's a lot of brick buildings, a very walkable place, a lot of green spaces. Could get around campus from one end to another in about 10 minutes. Now, while our total enrollment is 48,000, our undergraduate population you all are all applying to be a part of, is just a little over 20,000 students. So at USC, I like to think you're going to get this true census best of both worlds. You're going to be at a large school in a large city, but you're still going to have this personal academic feel. Personal academic feel and values is something that is really close to our university, one of our core values. Our student to faculty ratio is about 8 to 1. Our average class sizes is about 26. There might be some that are a little more, there might be some that are less than 26. But when you come to USC, you know you're not going to be just another number or another body on campus. You are going to get a personal academic feel, and that's great if you're someone who really values working in small groups and getting to know your teachers or professors. Now, what makes USC education, really unique is, and things that we know that you're going to get when you come to USC is, one is we value interdisciplinary studies. We have an open course policy that allows our students to pursue all of their academic interests. We have over 180 different majors, and more than half of our students are going to have more than one major. So that's going to be a major and a minor. Some students are going to double major. We have students who double major in completely different academic fields, which we refer to as Renaissance scholars. Another hallmark of the USC education is research. As you heard me mention earlier, we are a large research university. We are one of the top leading private research institutions in the nation. And now research is not expected of students at USC. It's something that we absolutely encourage, because it takes that learning outside of the classroom and more of that hands-on approach. It allows you to work closely with professors. It's something great that you can put on your resume. You contribute knowledge to an academic field. A couple programs that I want to highlight within research is our SOAR and SURF programs, which is within our liberal arts college, our College of Dorrance, which connects students to professors who are doing research projects. Another opportunity for research for students is to do their own independent research project. The university has special funding through our provost office to provide funding for undergraduate students who want to pursue or work on their own independent research project. Another is the global perspective. Even though we are the University of Southern California, more than half of our students are not coming from Southern California. We are very much a school of people coming from all over the world. It is a very diverse place, not just culturally and ethically, but just where people come from. We also have great study abroad programs, very robust programs for students to choose from. So we can really take that study abroad program, to take that global perspective to have that true experience by studying abroad. One of my favorite study abroad opportunities we have for students is a Maymester, which is kind of like a mini study abroad program that happens at the end of the spring semester. Another thing is, when you come to USC, you're going to live in Los Angeles, and I might be a little biased, but I think Los Angeles is absolutely one of the greatest cities in the world. It is a very large city with over 15 million people who live in the LA area. Very diverse, a lot of different pockets of, to get some great food. And USC is really right in the middle of all of that. Our campus is just 3 miles south of downtown LA. There are 3 train stops that are conveniently located next to campus. So you can hop on a train, be in downtown Los Angeles in 10 minutes, or you can hop on the train and go out west and be out in Santa Monica Beach in 30 minutes. So it's a real great central location that comes with a lot of social fun opportunities to do, a lot of great museums. As I mentioned, you've got some great beaches, great foods, concerts, a lot of entertainment. There's absolutely so much to do in Los Angeles. But with living in Los Angeles also comes the opportunity, professional and internship opportunities. A lot of our students leave USC with between 1 and 3 internships. Very over 1,000 clubs and organizations. This Trojan family is very spirited, very connected. We have a holistic review at USC as well, and I'll throw my contact info. If y'all have any questions, you can reach out later.
Thank you so much, Ruben, for sharing a little bit more about University of Southern California. And for our final institution of this session, we have Vassar College.
Thank you so much. Let's see. All right, let's get started. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Kathleen Vitalhern. I am a Senior Assistant Director of Admission here at Vassar. So just to give you a quick overview of Vassar College, we were originally founded in 1861, originally as a women's college, and we officially went co-ed in 1969, one of the first women's colleges to actually do that. And just to give you some information about our student body, we do have approximately 2,400 students, and they come from all over the world. We do have students who come from all 50 states, as well as about 12% of our student body identify as international and coming from over 50 countries. We also do have 97% of our student body living on campus, so we identify very much as a residential college. About 35% of our students are identifying as domestic students of color. About 20% are eligible for the Pell Grant, and we have about 15% who identify as first generation. And just to give you some information about our location, we are located in Poughkeepsie, New York, which is in the Mid-Hudson Valley region, if any of you are familiar with that. We're sandwiched in between Albany and New York City, two amazing cities in the state of New York, which offers a lot of opportunities for students professionally as well as creatively. So we have so many different outdoor activities that our students are able to take advantage of while they're in Poughkeepsie. And of course, you see this stunning picture, and it provides you with a lot of opportunities such as hiking, biking, and this is the bridge that a lot of students like to walk over. It's a walkway over the Hudson River. We are also minutes away from our downtown Poughkeepsie area, which you'll find a lot of farm to table restaurants and just other things to do if you're interested in going to the art museums or just anything related to being outside. So what makes Vassar unique is, of course, our open curriculum. And what that means is that we don't require any particular core set of classes or general education requirements here at Vassar. And we really want people to explore their academic and professional interests while they're here, and making sure that you're able to craft the curriculum as far as what is going to make you passionate about being here at Vassar and what is going to help prepare you for whichever profession you choose. So in addition to your major, you are just going to have 3 requirements that you'll need to fulfill. One would be the first year writing seminar. The second one would be the quantitative course. And lastly, you're going to be required to have foreign language proficiency. Now with these, it's not going to necessarily be completed by the traditional sense of an English course or quantitative course. You can get very creative with it. We do have courses that fulfill these requirements in all of our departments, not only just English and math. For example, if you're interested in psychology, we have a course called Research Methods in Psychology, which does fulfill the quantitative course. And for example, if you're interested in any of the creative arts, we have a first year writing seminar course in the film department, in which you're able to, of course, get involved in reviewing films and being able to have that writing component in the course. So it doesn't have to be limited to just those few departments. And of course, learning is not going to be limited in the classroom, which is why we really do encourage our students to take advantage of all the opportunities there are locally. So about 85% of our students engage in an internship or fieldwork, and this is going to be facilitated by our Office of Community Engaged Learning. Now with this, you're going to be under the guidance of a particular faculty member, and you're going to be getting practical hands-on experience. And of course, you'll receive college credit for this, so this can only amplify your time here. For example, we have the Vassar Brothers Medical Center, and a lot of students who are exploring the health field will have some time there before they graduate, and so they're able to get that hands-on experience, which will really help create a really robust application if they're applying to med school or any other graduate profession. And just to give you some information about our student life, we do have over 100 student clubs and organizations, about 23 Division III sports. And so a lot of our students are able to find community here, whether they're involved in their residential house. So basically 97% of our students live here on campus, and they really do take advantage of all the opportunities available to them to be able to find friends and to be able to meet with their peers outside of the classroom. We also have several initiatives to further affirm our commitment to creating and fostering a community here for students of all backgrounds. One of them I'd like to mention is the Transitions Program. Now, the Transitions Program is a 4-year program that's going to be for anyone who is interested in, I think I ran out of time, right?
You can go ahead and wrap up. You have a few more seconds here.
Oh, okay. For anyone who identifies as first generation or low income, we provide you with support throughout the course of your 4 years here. You have a mentorship program, you have different resources available to you. So we really want to make sure that we're strengthening your ties to the college while you're here. And lastly, I will leave with our application information. So we do have early decision November 15th, and then we have our second early decision, which is January 1. Or if you don't want to commit right away, you can just apply regular decision by January 1. I'll leave our contact information here, but I'll also put in my personal email address. If any of you have questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about Vassar College. And so at this point, I will invite all of our presenters to return on video, and we will have everyone answer at least one question for our students here today. And so I would encourage you all to answer in the order that you presented to save us a little bit of that muting and unmuting fun that comes with Zoom. And so we'll start with the question of what advice would you give students currently going through the college search process?
Great question. Definitely advocate for yourself. This process, besides it being about the research and the information that you're gathering, is also about your self-advocacy and your self-agency. So make sure that you're using spaces like the additional information section on the common application, or if you're going through the QuestBridge application, you know, there are a lot of spaces for you to tell your story. And all of that is really helpful for us to see and understand any context that might be relevant and that you think is important for us to know as someone who is reviewing your application. So examples of that would be if you want to explain anything on your transcript, if you want to let us know about a specific award or recognition, make sure that you are using those spaces like the additional information section to give us more background.
Great. I 100% agree with what Cindy said. And one thing I'd also like to mention is throughout the process, do not hesitate to take advantage of all the resources that every institution makes available to you. With the circumstances of COVID, many of our institutions are offering engagement opportunities that are virtual, so you're not required to visit campus or in any way. And also just feel free to use us, admissions representatives, as resources as well. Each one of us mention our emails in the chat or anything. And just if you have any questions or would like to introduce yourself, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, something I would add would be to take every part of the application as important. Writing tends to also be cumulative. So for example, if there are certain supplements that you need to fill out, don't feel like your personal essay is more important, then leave the supplements as an afterthought. Every part of your application tells us something different about yourself. So make sure that you're putting in the right amount of attention to each part of the application. And also that's a great opportunity for you to empower yourself into presenting the best version of yourself on paper.
Great. Yeah, echoing what everyone has been saying, and especially what Cody said about resources, don't hesitate to use your admission officer as a personal resource to you. We are here to answer any questions that you have in this stressful decision process. And so be sure to use every single resource and opportunity that you have access to. Beyond that, my main advice is to be yourself and trust your gut in this process. And we are all here to help you out with this.
Agree with what everyone's saying, but I'd also like to add is have an open mind. You know, this is a search process. You're not going to know what school's going to be the best fit for you unless if you don't go out and do programs like these where you're learning about different schools and asking the questions and reaching out to admissions counselors for that support.
I would say that it's also a good idea if you're interested about the student experience to be able to reach out to current students at whichever school you're interested in, just to get a little bit more of an overview of what life is like as a student. Of course, you can always reach out to admission offices, but you're never going to get the actual true experience from administrators as you would from your peers or potential peers. So make sure that you reach out to anyone that any school that you're interested in. If they have student ambassadors, they're more than happy to provide you with information to help you make your decision.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for taking the extra moment to give a little piece of advice to our students listening in today. That does conclude the time that we have for our session. For those of you who are sending questions through the Q&A, or if you have an unanswered question, don't forget, as you just heard from all of our college reps, that they're here as a resource for you. And so feel free to send those over email as well. But a huge thank you to each of our presenters for sharing a little bit more about their institutions, and a huge thank you to all of you for joining us. A few quick things to note: there'll be a very quick 5-question survey that will appear on your screen when this session concludes. If you don't mind filling that out, it's super helpful for us to get some feedback as we continue to plan events such as these moving forward. A reminder that there is 2 more hours of programming ahead of us, so feel free to check out those sessions and sign up for more if you haven't already, and that this session was recorded and that the recording will be available at strivescan.com/yesprep tomorrow. So feel free to check those out if you need to return to any of this information. So thank you all once again. I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of their day.